Saturday, people. Hello and welcome to my cake kitchen. My name is Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate cake decorating easily. I also create baking tutorials live, bringing you along the experience where we identify a particular objective, bake through the session, talking through ingredient selection, the intention behind the selection, hopefully to influence a great bake. So, from my home kitchen this Saturday evening, hello and welcome. If it's your first time you see me, it's exciting to have you. And if you've been a follower, a watcher, a supporter of the channel, a friend of the group, hello again. I made a promise this week, actually, that I was going to commit to 3 live sessions a week. Week 1, we have Mondays, Wednesday, Friday, and then week 2, there's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So today, a little confession for you. I woke up and didn't want to do anything because my week has been baking packed. But on Saturday, when I have no cake on the table or customers have picked their cakes, I want to be a Mrs. Doolittle, okay? But because I made a commitment and there's a ton of things to do and I like hanging out over here, I thought I'll come around. I have some cake tasks to complete. In fact, on my work table, not that you asked, there's 200 cupcakes to go out for a corporate clients that I have to start working towards. These are for Tuesday and Wednesday, 200 cupcakes boxed and delivered with corporate logos and all that stuff. In between that, I have recipes to test, notes to copy from recent recipe development and testing sessions. In between baking, editing videos, and all sorts. So my life with cakes is pretty busy. But when I get a break, I just want to enjoy it. And this Saturday was one of those. But I had a promise to keep. So as hard as I tried to avoid doing anything, because in the UK, the sun was great. Or is it? It is great. So I thought, I'm going to try and not do much. But it's nearly 9 p.m. That is if I checked my time. What's the time now? I'm not sure what it is. So I thought, since I have some baking tasks to complete, I'll come around and invite you into my kitchen so we can do this all together. It's a lot of fun on this session. But if you don't fancy a live session like this one, you want to check on the homepage. We have edited videos that are purposely done to inform you, motivate you, so that you can undertake your cake decorating easily with all the confidence you need at home in your own time. They are simple, they are informative, they are broken down with so much explanation to help you. And the live sessions are an extension of the videos that I bring to you, including daily shorts that you can get stuck in and consume a lot of cake content. Hopefully that helps you develop your skill, build up confidence, and succeed at this whole thing of baking and decorating. Is that enough talking for today? Anyway, in my kitchen today, we're doing nothing serious. In fact, what we're doing is creating some brown butter first of all, and also browning some carrots. I'll tell you the intention behind it. This is part of a series that has started where you pick a recipe for me to bake. I know nothing about the recipe, and then I undertake it, and then we all see the results. Over here on the live sessions, one of the experiences we uniquely have here is that we do nothing in advance except measuring ingredients, but otherwise the entire process has you in it so that you can enjoy the experience of being part of the process to the end results. So our sessions have been developed such that we don't have pre-baked items and we don't do things in advance largely. You're all part of the process, and then we get to see the bake, including whatever fails. So far so good, we haven't had any fails yet. So we've had episode 1 where we did a pineapple upside down bake. Episode 2, what did we do? A lemon and poppy seed cake. So far so good, great results. I loved the lemon. I love the pineapple upside down bake, and the lemon and poppy seed was a pleasant surprise in many ways. Now there are a few recipes that have been nominated because the live sessions are nearly back to back. I haven't managed to organize for some of the ingredients. I think in our last session somebody nominated a raspberry and lemon cake. I didn't want to repeat that today, and also the kitchen was warm because it's warmer today in England. If you know any English people, we like to complain about the weather, whether it's sunny or it's raining. It's a national sport, okay? So today I thought baking was not going to be an exciting thing. Plus, I had some orders to pack up. Alongside that, I just thought I needed time to organize the ingredients. But more than anything, between you picking a recipe and then me coming here to get it done, the other thing I wanted to do also was to pick up some recipes that I don't normally bake in my everyday caking life and then bring you along. So this is one of those. It's a carrot cake. It's not any carrot cake. I promise you, if you stick around, you'll find out it is not in a carrot cake. But we are not going to be making the carrot cake in this episode simply because the carrot cake has so many moving parts. So I thought I will bring you along the prep part of the prep of the carrot cake recipe, and then we can extend it to baking another day, whether it's tomorrow or another day after. So this particular carrot cake has brown butter, cheese, cream cheese frosting sort of with it. And the carrot cake itself has caramelized carrot puree as part of the recipe. So I thought I could, because it has so many moving parts and some aspects of the moving parts have to be left to cool down, I'm going to bring you along some of those processes so that you get to see the base of the entire recipe, how it started, so that when we get to baking the carrot cake itself, you will get to come back and see the prep work and what was put together. That is part of my promise of bringing you along the process and making you a part of it, so you can get to enjoy the process, so that the end result is all seen together. Sadly, the end result, I'm the only person who gets to eat the cake, but I'll be thinking about you when that happens. So in today's video, we're simply browning some, caramelizing some carrots. I'll be talking you around the intention about it, and we'll also be browning some brown butter. Now, this recipe is not my recipe, the carrot cake. It is actually developed by a scientist on the platform who does baking series focused on the science of it. She is Sugarology, Adriana. I'll leave her link in the description box when I come to it. She's an amazing baker. So if you want to have an in-depth scientific understanding to the processes of baking, ingredients, how they affect each other, you want to check her channel out. She is amazing. I enjoy her content very much, and I've actually tried this carrot cake myself. I've made slight adaptations. So when we come to it, I will talk you through that. But first of all, I have some butter here that I am going to brown, because the butter is what is going to be part of our buttercream later when the carrot cake is done. It is going to go as an accompaniment to our carrot cake. So I'm going to start by just putting the butter straight into this pan over here. This is 250 grams of butter, a block of butter like this in the UK. Normally I'll settle for salted butter, but I could also put a pinch of salt in here, so it really doesn't matter. The intention here is to brown the butter so that the fat solids in it become brown. You want to be careful so you don't burn it, because brown butter can go from melting nice looking yellow looking butter to burning straight away. So we want to keep an eye on it. So this is about 500 grams of butter here, unsalted butter. I am going to adjust this. The intention here is that when we brown this butter, we're going to put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge to re-solidify it, and then parts of it is going to be part of our buttercream. This will help bring flavor and a complex, enhanced mouthfeel to it. So that's what I'm going to do. But after that, we're going to move on to doing the carrots, and I'll be talking you through some more of the carrots. But if you're in the chat, hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. I will be checking in the chat. But since this is very task-based and I have a cooker in front of me, I'd rather focus on finishing this quickly. So first of all, I don't burn my butter or perhaps get the house smoky where my smoke alarm will go to ping, 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 and then there is a lot of crisis to consider. But otherwise, I hope you're having a good evening wherever you are. And if you're in the chat, perhaps say hello or hi, and then I will get to you in a moment. We have the butter, and then what happens is the butter starts melting. This is what we are looking at over here. I could have done this in a pan that is lighter and not this deep, but I don't have a skillet or anything like that. So I chose the deeper pan so that it also stops the oil, the fat from splattering everywhere. Managing my own safety in the kitchen, if you like. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to drain any liquids in the butter, and then the solids will settle. I like the smell of brown butter. There's something nice and about the aroma of it. But I also want to be careful so I don't trigger my fire alarm. Whilst I'm waiting for that to settle, we have some carrots here. The carrots have been washed and diced into small pieces. If you check the information that Adriana provides about this recipe, which she developed herself, she will give you exact quantities of the carrots you need and how to puree them. I will do all of that when we are done later in the process. However, something you want to note here is that I haven't exactly measured the quantity of carrots here, because what you do with the carrots when you brown them and put them in the oven and puree them later doesn't really affect anything except that quantity you will need in the recipe itself. So I just want to sort out the carrots at this point. The quantity doesn't really matter, in fact, to me here. But of course, once I'm done and it's pureed, I measure the exact quantity that is required as part of my recipe. So that's something to note. You don't particularly need to worry about the amount of carrot that you brown, because if you want to have some excess to use later, that is completely fine. So I'm going to preheat the oven whilst this is browning. If you're in the chat, do not forget to hit the like button and share this video with any baker who enjoys baking. This particular carrot cake recipe is so flavorful. It is lovely. It is the only, probably one of the few butter options, as in the raw butter of the cake. You can eat it and it's so nice, but of course you don't want to make a meal out of it. Your tummy won't be happy with that, but it's really, really, really a good recipe. The water in the butter has disappeared, or it's disappearing slightly, and now the butter is turning yellow and looks super, super oily. So I'm still waiting for the solid bits in it to settle and be a little brown before I turf it out. But just remember that by so doing, melting the butter, in fact, I'm referring to, you are actually breaking the structure of the fat. So it will not go back to solidifying as in its original form anymore. So when you make buttercream out of this, you want to be careful, because then you don't have a stable buttercream anymore. It will not be stable, it won't settle, and even at room temperature, after you've refrigerated the brown butter, it will solidify in the fridge. But if you bring it back to room temperature, it will come back to being a little bit sloppy, if you like. So you want to be careful about that if you're using it for buttercream. It won't hold very well by itself, but it makes a great buttercream and it flavors very well. So that is something to kind of consider. Now, where the butter begins to turn slightly color, you want to keep an eye on it, because it can go from a flavorful light brown looking butter, oily butter here, as in liquid butter here, to literally burning on you. So at this point, I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit, and I'm going to keep stirring. And and perhaps this is the time to kind of turn around and say I'm done here. But I've turned the cooker off already, so it's just the simmering warmth of the warm cooker that is keeping this going for me. Some people additionally would throw in some powdered milk here to increase the flavor. I have just forgone that because that is completely unnecessary for me here. But I'm just gonna tip that over into this bowl. Okay, I made some questionable decisions here. The bowl is too small. Okay, at this point I want to be very, very careful because it's really hot and I really don't fancy now with the same pot. What I am going to do is I am going to put some butter. The quantity required is about 84 grams, but like I said, I'm not particularly fussed about the quantity here. It's smoky and I'm worried about my smoke alarm going off. So I'm going to take the carrot in there, and I have baking soda. It's 3/4 of spoonful of baking soda. So that has gone in, and God, that little escapee carrot has disappeared from here. So essentially what we are trying to do here is caramelize and brown these carrots over here, and then put that in the oven and let that cook itself down. It enhances the flavor and brings an earthy flavor to the carrot cake. It also enhances texture and the flavor of the carrot cake in a way that is none like anything really. It's another little step to undertake. Okay, now the bowl is really hot. It's another nice step to undertake for this process. But once that is done, we'll leave that in the oven to cook down. And then when, I don't know how much time we have here. I think the cooking time is estimated to be about 45 minutes for an hour, but it's more like just leave it in the oven and let that cook down until you have brown bits on the side. Sometimes you have burnt bits on it. It all adds to the flavor of the carrot, because essentially what we want to do here, we want to employ the sweetness in the carrot to enhance the carrot cake. Also, the carrot cake itself, normally that doesn't mean that we cannot have grated carrot. We're going to be adding grated carrot. It is your regular carrot cake, but this little step just brings a ton of flavor to the carrot cake and the texture of the cake in itself in a way that is super, 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 super nice. But Adriana explains that very well in a video that she has done on this recipe, so I would encourage you to check that out. I am so sorry. It's because when I have my, what do you call it, my cooker in front of me, my focus is not to trigger my fire alarm. So I tend to forget that whilst I'm stood here alone in my kitchen, there is still a ton of people out there who join me on this session. So if you're in there in the chat, hello there and welcome to my channel. If it's your first time, thank you for being here. I know this Saturday you could be anywhere doing anything with your life, and you've chosen to spend some time right here in this kitchen with me. I will never take that for granted, and it's really exciting to have you. So leave me a hi over there so we can just interact, because essentially all I'm doing here is caramelizing and browning some carrots. If I wasn't a baker who would find this useful, what a boring thing to do. But there's someone in the chat who says carrot cake is their favorite thing. So stick around and come back for future videos, because this is going to be an extended series where we'll come back, do the carrot cake, and you will get to see it. Our live here is really, really interactive, and the hope is that we cut out the fluff, and we also cut out that we also bring more information about the processes of baking ingredients, and all the intentions surrounding it. Because in an edited video, we are obviously, as a content creator, I'm very mindful of the fact that I want you to watch the video, right? However, because I'm trying to grab your attention, I have to keep the message succinct. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you are short of the information, but it lacks much context, if you know what I mean. So the lives are an extension of the videos themselves, where we get to explain things better, where I can bring you my own perspective, my own experience, a deeper understanding of certain things that I will not be able to provide on the video format, if you like. I also create daily shorts, where we cut down the information to about 30 seconds, still making it exciting and valuable to you. So if you want more information, better interaction, and great experience, stick around. So for the carrots, what I actually did was I washed all of them, chopped them into pieces as you saw, and let them dry. And then I patted them all out with a paper towel and drained out any water, blots the water out. And so we've come, and now we are almost like frying the carrots in water. Carrot has some sweetness to it and an earthy flavor to it that transfers to the cake eventually. But by so doing what we're doing here, we are trying to employ the carbohydrates, the starch, and the sugars to also enhance the flavor of our cake in a way that focuses on the carrot. Because carrot cake itself is essentially a spice cake that has additions of carrot and other extras such as pecans and walnuts and what's not. It's neither here nor there, but this particular recipe Adriana formulated to kind of bring focus to the use of carrots in a way that enhances the flavor and texture of the cake. Who thought I was cooking with a plastic spoon? Oh, right, yeah. It's not a plastic spoon, it's actually a spatula. It's a spatula that is heat proof. It came with my mixer. So yeah, you can cook with it, but it's primarily for stirring into cake batter and stuff like that. But you can use it here and it won't melt at all. Where are you all chatting from, by the way? If you're in the chat, where are you chatting from? So the carrot here, here's what our carrot looks like. Essentially, because the carrots, we're cooking them over the heat. What's happening here is that it is also cooking in such a way that it's draining the water out of the carrot. So I am just going to tip what we have here into a glass bowl and leave that in the oven to finish cooking. So the carrot is now done. And this is just going to go straight into the oven at 180 degrees C for maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. And with that, our carrot is done. To have you, I'm going to put the brown butter in the fridge, and I'll be back to talk to you. Okay, you have all my attention now, because most of the time when I'm on these lives, I am so focused on the task that I don't do much. We have a moderator on this channel, Amanda, who is helpful, but I didn't tell Amanda I was coming on the live today. So what I need to do is that the fear of my baking, my electric cooker in front of me is right behind me now. So you have my attention. There are quite a few of you in the chat. Hello everyone in there. How are you today? And what are you doing this Saturday? Well, I am still stood in my kitchen here trying to get started on this carrot cake, which is rather exciting. But what's your Saturday like? What are you doing besides being in the chat? There's a few of you there. There is... Okay, there's Lourdes, there's I Am Life, Shaq, Catherine, Eldorado, the Brewer family, and all of you there. If you're still there, leave a hello, hi over there. And whilst you're here, just so you know, this is a series where you can literally nominate a cake that you like, and I will come and bake it. There's a few already in the list that I have to get through. So whilst you're here, you can nominate a cake you like. What's your favorite cake? And this is a baking channel. Do you even like baking? And if you like baking, what's your experience like with baking? Let me just make sure that the oven is all right here. Okay, the oven is all right. So essentially what we're trying to do is brown the carrots further. And if we're able to achieve our goal of browning it further in the oven whilst we're here, you'll see me puree the carrots. And then the intention will be to leave it on the side to cool down completely. And then it will be used as an additional ingredient when we come to making the carrot cake later. So if you enjoy baking, this is a recipe you want to check out. I'll leave details of that in the description box so that you can follow on. Also, our community tab over here is used as an extension of our live session. So if there is some information that we need to elaborate on, if there's some more information that we need to bring into the video that has been left out, I update all of that in the community page. So if you're here, join the family here. We're quite a supportive group of people here. We support each other. The lives are very positive over here. So an extension is for you to check the community post for updates on what is happening. I post a bit about what is non-cake related, but generally it's a tool to inform and keep you all updated. I thought part of the live series we do over here is also to have you as part of the entire session from start to finish, so that you are part of the process of the baking, the ingredient selection. I explain my intention about everything I do, which is why we're here today. So I could have done this off myself and then come and showed you how we bake the cake, but I also want you to have a view of what exactly we did when we come to baking the cake. So essentially the cake is in the carrots are now browning. We first fried them in butter and we've left them to cook slowly, which will then reduce the liquids in them. Flavor comes through very nicely, and then we what do you call it, we blend them with a hand blender or in a food processor, put them to the side, let them cool completely, and will be added to the carrot cake. We also browned some butter, which is in the fridge at the moment. Brown butter frosting is really lovely. There's an earthy, nice flavor to it. So we've left that in the fridge to re-solidify, and then we'll be adding parts of the butter in there in our carrot cake buttercream we will be making later. So essentially those are the tasks we're doing today. But in England today it is a little bit warm, so I was less motivated to do anything, except I made a commitment to be here with you 3 days a week. So it's exciting to be here, a pleasure to have you, and I hope you are having a great Saturday wherever you are. Whilst you're at it, please do me a favor. Hit the like button if you've just joined us here. It gives YouTube some information about the channel that will help put this video in front of bakers who enjoy baking, so they do not miss out on the processes that we develop here that are super helpful to beginner bakers. Because my intention as a baking channel is to bring simplified baking processes and information to any baker who has just started on their journey. Because many years ago, I was also a beginner baker, and I tell you where I found useful information: YouTube. People who brought their expertise, their knowledge, and were kind enough to put that all out here for me to learn from. So being on my channel here is a form of giving back, as much as it is fun to also discuss cake, talk baking subjects, and enjoy cake decorating processes as well. Yeah, our carrot is coming along okay. We'll find out that much of the liquids in it will evaporate, and then we'll have the carrot settle with some browning on the sides, and that will be the best time to take it out, move it into a bowl, and blend it all into a fine puree. Let's talk some small boring stuff, the stuff you probably won't tell anyone. But look over here, this today we're not doing anything serious, okay? Are you the sort of person when the alarm goes you're like, oh gosh, it's morning again, I've got to face life? Or you're the person who is excited to kind of get out and face life? Because half of the time I just want to sleep, okay? I could sleep for England, okay? And that's because my I get busy with cakes. That's all. My life is overwhelmed with cakes. So when I get a little time to rest, Lord, I take full use of that. So, oh, thank you. Look, this is not my recipe. We actually started a series on the channel. You will see we made a pineapple upside down cake. We also made a lemon poppy seed. So these recipes are sort of a way of simplifying the baking processes and then bringing you along. But I didn't develop this recipe. This recipe is developed by a baker on the channel. I'll leave her details in the description box. I've spoken all about her from the beginning. So yes, we don't keep here. When I'm using a recipe that I have developed, which is mine, I'll tell you. And if it's not my recipe, I will equally tell you. But this is a good one. So oh, thank you. Thank you, Delaney. It is so heartwarming to know because, I'll tell you this as a content creator. I enjoy YouTube as a platform. Okay, I do. I enjoy YouTube. I don't watch television at home, so I don't subscribe to television shows and all of that anymore. I can't even remember the last time I sat in front of a screen, but I could sit and watch YouTube. I watch YouTube for the same purpose that you do. It's soothing, and the content I watch on YouTube have nothing to do with baking. You'd be surprised the thing I I don't want to bring negativity to my channel, but there are some channels that I watch just for the gossip. And there is a particular people that is I'll leave that where it is. I don't want to touch that subject in the public arena just because the couple are a little controversial and they invite a lot of negativity, and I'll just leave it. So I enjoy YouTube as a platform, but it can be awfully difficult to know whether the content you put out. I'm a baking centered channel primarily, so we center a lot on baking processes and decorating. And because the subject matter is such that it's more like if someone is not looking for any specific information, then you wonder whether they're even enjoying the content, or whether the content itself is doing well or not. So it is really nice to hear from the other side that even though you are not like being here all the time and engaging all the time, you still enjoy some of the content in a quiet place. Thank you for sharing that. Kim, I just wondered what you ate with your spinach salad. I tell you what salad I like, a sweet potato salad with coleslaw and avocados. When I pretend I'm eating healthy, that is what I go for. But I haven't eaten healthy in about a week or two now because my breakfast is literally cakes. The live sessions are done at about 11 o'clock UK time in the mornings. And by that time, I wouldn't have had breakfast yet. So I end up eating cake for breakfast. So I can't tell you I have been healthy in recent times. But it's lovely to know. Let's have a look at what we have in here. Okay. Okay. So if you were not here before, essentially what we have done is we had some carrots that we fried in butter with a bit of baking soda. We cooked that on the heat and then put it in the oven to caramelize. So this is essentially what we have ended up with. We've caramelized the carrots and it looks like this. I kind of feel like I want to put it back in the oven a little bit more, if you like. I think I will do just that. Because essentially, the lady who developed this recipe developed it to bring the sweetness in the carrots, the earthy taste of the carrot that is added, flavor of the carrot that will be added to the cake, and also to enhance the color of the carrot cake. So I kind of feel like I want to put that into brown a little more. It adds a certain flavor to your carrot cake. Trust me, it is really nice. But like I said in the beginning, I could have done this and then come around with the carrot cake and this as an additional recipe on the side and told you how I did it. But I thought it would be also a good opportunity to bring you along the process, which is why we are here. If you have a kid who doesn't like vegetables, this is probably a good way to add carrots to the food by pureeing it, and then you can mix it into, say, sweet potato or potato mash, and just pretend to them that it is color. They will not know. You just tell them, oh, you colored the potato a little bit. And it's a good way to kind of bring some vegetables to their meals, especially if you have a fussy eater. But I've tasted this on its own when it's done. It's really, really lovely. And when it goes into the butter for the cake itself, it's really lovely too. Okay, our carrot is essentially done. I could transfer this into a bowl and then blend it out. But let's see. Let me try with this right here. Let's see how we get on. Okay. Okay. So what we're doing is we are just trying to blend the carrot here. Okay. Looks like we are done over here. The goal, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. My spatula. Okay, I'll go for a different one. Right. But before we do anything, let me unplug this. I have a fear of the hand blender going off when I'm actually using it. So well, I see Delaney and Kim are having a conversation about bread. I have never baked before. I've never baked before, really. Wow, look. Okay, right. This is what live sessions are for, right? The imperfect moments of when your spatula literally falls off in your hand. Okay, I'm going to leave that over there and I'm going to try another one and see if I'll get better luck this time. Okay, that's better. What we are going to do now is we're going to transfer our carrot puree into a bowl and let it cool down. And after it's cooled, we are going to have a portion that will eventually make our carrot cake. I am sure when we come back to making the carrot cake, I'll be talking you through more of this today. I'll be talking you through more of this then. But I am pleased that we've been able to complete this in this session today. So essentially, we have our pureed carrots done. Let me taste. But for the baking soda, you can literally eat this as is. But the baking soda brings an aftertaste to it that I can't seem to explain. So if you probably want to just use this sort of pureed carrot as part of your, say, everyday meal that you can eat, then perhaps you want to eliminate the baking soda altogether. Okay, but otherwise our carrot puree here is done.